to the WACA-TV kitchen for another riveting episode of What's Really Going On with your two co-hosts, Jim Hanna and Julie Nardone. We are neighbors on Elliott Street, and we are here to get you, the taxpayers, the information you need to make informed decisions. And we just want to add that we continue to do the show so that you will get as much of the information as you can. You get all sides, pro and con. And then you, as a taxpayer, looking at your own budget, your own life, what your values are, you can decide what you will support and not support. Because without having all the information, it's useless, because things will come back later that people didn't know about, and it will just cause a mess. Okay, Jim, is there anything you want to say before I talk about the topics?
Yes. I had a friend of mine who called me up just recently and gave me some information that regarding the Natick preparation for their town meeting, and it was rather interesting to find out that the people and a woman carrying the flag got up at the town meeting and recommended to the town moderator that the warrant be totally evaluated right now, this moment in this building, because they feel that there are people in town who don't understand enough information to vote on those contracted issues. They were 11 or thereabouts. There were thereabouts 11 contract issues in the town meeting. 7 of which were voted on to be postponed until some other time when the information for each and every one of those was understood clearly by the voting community. And then they asked that no more going around the rosy bush on the OPEP subject matter. They assigned without any question that the responsibility is being provided to them by the town to go out and gather all information on OPEP, and is it real or is it just a boogeyman?
We are going to talk about OPEP later in detail.
This is what's happening in the outside world beyond Ashland.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to let you know there are some people that are getting tired of there's not enough information.
Yeah, I want to quickly, I think I just wanted to mention the railroad tracks.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because people, the railroad tracks are very bumpy. And Jim, do you have something to say about the railroad tracks?
Well, yes. When Dougie Smalls got replaced, became a member and then leader of the DEP, the first person I met was him. And I've known Dougie, because I must say, all his life. And I went to him and I said, is it about time we fixed the downtown crossing, because they're ruining on cars. They're getting bounced out of balance, and they're going to all the garages. And I said, please do that. Can you help us? And he did. He said, no, they're a problem because they're owned by a CSX, and they're a federal company. The land's federal land. So he went into a little spiel, and I said, Dougie, can you do something? Can you? He says, I'll try to do what I can, but I do have some say in it. So he went into Boston along with all the other towns with their complaints at one gathering, and he brought it up, and all of a sudden, he didn't talk to me about it again. Today, they're digging it up. First time, I think, in 5 or 6 years that we've been trying to get someone to do something, and none of our town managers seem to either have the time or how to do it. But it's being done. Congratulations to Dougie Small and the boys of the Ashland DEP.
Oh, the DPW is, we have an awesome DPW. I did that story where I rode around with them during a snowstorm. And I just want to say, too, I fell like a year and a half ago, and I was in a lot of pain. And when I had to go over those railroad tracks, I'm telling you, it was agony. And I feel for anyone in town who had any kind of a back problem that it had to go over those railroad tracks because there was no escape. I'm glad it's finally being done again. I don't know why it took so long. But anyways, congrats.
Well, I got to tell you, I've got two hips that don't like me.
Yeah.
And when I go over those tracks, I'm hanging on for dear life.
Yeah.
Because that vibration is enough to croak you.
Yeah, you have to hold on to the bar.
Hang on to the mirror.
Up. And if you're the passenger, you can do that. Yeah. But if you're driving, it's quite dangerous. So anyways, we're glad that has been done. So kudos to the DPW. Okay, so today's topics, and Jim already touched on one. Our main umbrella topic is going to be what we call Ashland's secret government, for lack of another word. And then under that, we're going to look at the public safety building facts and fantasies, OPEB, other post-employment benefit deficits, and what happened in Natick. We're going to look at the history of eminent domain land takings in Ashland for at least the past 20 years. And then we will talk, if we have time, about the stormwater fee, which is allegedly on the warrant. But see, this is part of the problem. We've got a town meeting in November 28th. I don't think any of us, it's 28 days out. I still don't know what's on there. I've heard the stormwater fee is going to be on there, but who knows? Sometimes we have to get to town meeting to even find out what the numbers are, and it's almost impossible to be prepared. So I got this from my mother, and it's the warrant for the special town meeting in Wayland, and she always gives it to me. And it's Tuesday, November 13th, I believe. She got this a month ago. And I just want to show you what the people in Wayland get. They get a document. It's actually mailed to the house, and it says, be prepared. We cannot be prepared for our town meeting because we don't have the information until like 5 minutes before we get there. But what's interesting too is, and I've noticed this before, they have the article, they have the finance committee comments, then they have the arguments in favor, and then the arguments opposed, recommendation, etc. We don't get anything but the arguments in favor if the town wants it, and if it's a citizen's petition, which the town never seems to want. If we can manage to even get it on there. It's always opposed, pretty much. So anyways, and Jim, feel free to pipe in, but I have asked, why can't we don't even have to have a cover. I mean, if we could just have the information. I was told we don't want to spend the money on democracy. So Ashland doesn't want to spend, we have a $68 million budget, and say it's $175,000, $150,000 to send this out. So it's convenient for people. We can't spend that. And then when I was asked, I was told, oh, well, people said that they didn't want us to spend the money. I've never been asked what my opinion is on having a document. Jim, have you ever been asked?
Well, Julie, I stand here somewhat bewildered. In Ashland, and I've been here every year for the last 70 years, I've gone to town meetings, and in years gone by, and I'm going to say up to 2000, Ashland was getting something like that. It was deteriorating in the 2000s, late 1900s, 1998, 99, going into 2000, 2001, 2003. It began to fade. And the less information that you were providing, and we had boxes full of when you entered the town meeting, along with the ones you got in the mail 2 weeks before the town meeting was to be held. That slowly disappeared. For if you ever said money, I'd laugh like hell because we spend more money than on anything we have. We put these garage signs up around town. Wonderful. It cost us $200,000. No one knows what it costs, but it was $200,000 to tell somebody you can park here as long as no one's in the space. And that's beside the point. But all I can tell you is yes, we could go back and this, we should immediately, but the first thing that's going to happen is you're going to have more people at the town meeting, but they're going to know what to talk about.
Right.
Right now, we don't know anything.
Yeah, until you get there. They've even got an appendix.
Oh, they're beautiful. I've got some of the old ones. I'll show you.
Yeah. Anyways, and then, we have another thing from town too, which will come up later. So, but this all feeds into this notion of this government, if you want to call it that, that's operating off somewhere in, I want to call it the darkness, the shadows, whatever. And, you know, we find out about things when they've already been approved.
Oh, God.
Basically. Jim, can you talk to that? Like, this notion that...
Well, I don't know what the notion is that we'll decide it in a committee form, but we never find out who the committee is. Oh, which brings me to the fact that somehow I got appointed something to the evaluation of the Mendez School.
The Mendez School. Well, you were an honorary member at town meeting.
Well, yeah, I was going to represent the Board of Selectmen and feed them with the information that I was going to get, in my opinion, perhaps. Well, this is just how they run.
Wasn't that May?
Yes.
May, June, July, August, September, November 1st. Have you been in contact with
I have
Jim?
never been in contact. I am waiting for the first meeting.
Yeah, that's already happened.
And the chairman gave me this honorary position, and that's how much weight the chairman carry in this business, too.
Right.
So the Board of Selectmen, in most times, say good things, but don't exercise any of them, because they can't.
Yeah, it's, you know, we wonder why we have a lack of engagement in the town, and if the people don't know what's going on because things are approved elsewhere, and they do come to us eventually. If they need our signature sign on the X, then they contact us because they want our signature, and we don't, along with that, the town itself, we have rules and zoning, and unless people complain, then nothing is followed. It's just barely a suggestion. And if we don't, a town where there really is no government, and...
Julie, let's live with real things. Just recently, I know you were informed and I was informed that there was a change of zoning in the Washakim district.
No.
No?
No.
There wasn't one?
No change of zoning there.
Oh.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, that changed then.
Yeah, I don't think there was any there. But I think, you know, if we don't have rules, if the people aren't involved, then this town has no future.
Well, that's it. There's no reason to live in a town that's not going to tell the commoner what's going on in this town. And look at the here. Can I talk about the?
Yes, you can talk about that. Okay. We were talking about the secret government. Then public safety building facts and fantasies. OPEB, other post-employment benefits. Oh, did I already say these? I think I already said these.
No, we haven't given our
history of eminent domain land takings and stormwater. I don't remember if I said that or not. Did I? Okay. Anyways.
Okay.
Jim, you can talk about that.
So we can't talk about the zoning issue.
Yeah, don't talk about it.
Okay.
You can talk.
We haven't got all the information
And we
on
picked
that.
these up
What?
at...
We went to the library.
Yeah, we got these at the library.
And there in the library is the new public safety facility and the opinion of, I guess, the group that represents the committee.
Well, I think it appears to be the town. I don't know. We don't know. See, there's no identification. Except we don't know. We don't know who it is.
Let's bring this thing down to a level where we understand it. We love the town library. It's a great place. A guy a guy ran around many years ago and gave money out.
Andrew Carnegie.
Yeah.
Yeah, Andrew Carnegie.
Yeah, Carnegie gave every town he could a library because if you're going to have a democracy, you got to understand it. So he wanted everyone to read. And it was a library of liberty because you had the right to speak at any time you wanted to or read at any time. Well, we have now private meetings on what we're going to do in the town hall without inviting everybody who should be there, only the ones that want to have something. And we did it, we allowed, the library was allowed by the town apparently, in the innocence of the library perhaps, that they were pro the safety houses and of all the reasons why and how much money it was going to cost to and that was okay, except they didn't have the ones against it.
Well, we're only got half the story.
Yeah, there's a million reasons in here why you can't do what you said you were going to do.
And where does this information even come from?
But they said it's going to get done, and they haven't even got the information yet.
And I want to say, okay, so number 5 is tax impact $30. Well, I've been trying now for a couple weeks to figure out how they arrived at the $30. Because I had to ask on Facebook. That's the only place I can get any answers around here. And I was told it was your assessment divided by 1,000 times 0.09. I don't know what the 0.09 represents, but there is interest when we're going to be potentially borrowing $3.5 million. There is interest on that.
But Julie, that is a complete responsibility. The financial side of that is the responsibility of the finance committee.
Oh yes.
They're nowhere in sight. They're going to get.
Yeah, and I want to say I went to Wayland, and they were the finance committee presented to their board of selectmen, which I don't know what happens in this town. Everything's going on in these meetings that are unfilmed in the basement. And they had a 33-page document where they went over all the potential debt exclusions, which are these capital overrides. This is a capital override. They have a very confusing name called a debt exclusion, but when you hear debt exclusion, capital override.
Yeah.
They had this whole breakdown. This is just one page, a breakdown with how much it was going to cost, the median home value. So anyways, we've got this 30, and when I do the math, I have to go down to like 329,500 to get to the 30. But the average assessed value in town is 434,500, almost 100,000 more. So again, I've asked again. I am still waiting for somebody to tell me where this number comes from. And it says here too, they've been talking about this building since 2008. Again, if they've been talking about it, nobody really knows.
Julie, they are asking for $3.5 million for design of something we haven't even understood yet. We don't even know for sure where it's going to land. They want to put it on the property that's on the, it's Howie Fafford's property, but that's okay.
He's donating it.
Yeah.
Well,
he's going to donate all of it to the school.
No. He's donating it to the public safety building.
Well, that's what I mean. I don't mean school. I mean public. Yeah, he's going to put it all. He's going to give it all away to them. The question that I would ask, well, what is he getting in return? What is he going? He's going to give us 10 acres, and he's not going to get anything in return.
Jim, we don't know that.
Well, don't forget that he's not through with the whole.
Jim, we don't know that.
Well, yes, we do.
We
know that he still owns a section of the front yard.
Yeah, but it was stated at a meeting that nothing is going to happen.
I'm just saying that that's an opportunity for him to get out of a situation he needs help with, and he can help the town by giving him 10 acres.
Again, we don't know. We don't have
But
enough
we don't know that, but it could be true.
Yeah, and I do want to say, because I called the state. What we're getting is the state is making it possible for us to apply for $25 million in a bond. Okay, it's a bond that would be used for the public safety building. We have to spend the $3.5 million first. Once we have that, then we can apply. You got to apply for it. They're going to look at everything, and then they're going to decide if you get the money. And it is going to come in chunks. I was told you're going to have to put together some kind of document where you, a timeline. You want the money here, here, and there. So, I mean, I've heard we already have the money. We don't already have the money. We got to apply for it. And again, the $3.5 million for the estimated design and engineering, I'm guessing that's so we know what the building's really going to cost, because otherwise, I really don't know.
Well, they're thinking that safety building and its $20 million or $30 million cost is going to happen, and we're saying the 3.5, which is the beginning, is funds that we're going to have to come up with initially before the 25 gets discussed.
Yes, this
now,
is your skin in the
what
game.
happens if the finance committee finally goes into their business to exercise OPEB, and they find out it's the real thing, not something that we've been saying wasn't going to happen? The $11 million all of a sudden gets laid against the 25, because that's the way to pay the state back.
Jim, we only have about 5 minutes
Okay.
left. Why don't you talk about what you discovered about OPEB and
By the way,
don't you have some information?
and for what we think is the dead
other post-employment benefits.
that's I went over to Holliston and see how they're doing in theirs, and we think we subject as being a guesswork. We're not sure it's going to be. That's what our current status is. Well, Holliston is so much insured that it's going to happen that in their kitty they've got $11 million. $11 million is in there, OPEB.
11 million. What do we have? 2.
We got 1.8 and something in called it's not in the trust, but it's named OPEB if it ever gets to the trust.
Yeah.
They leave some money out to use in case there's an emergency.
Okay.
But I think we're 1.8 or 1.9 million out of 11.7.
Yeah, Holliston has almost 12.
And the brilliance of this is Holliston is so brilliant and we're so stupid. Holliston had put enough money in to start investing it.
Yeah, they're investing it.
And the investment is coming back to Holliston in terms of not a big deal, but 2 to 3 to 4% interest on it. And that's bringing back $500,000 a year. So they take the $500,000 in interest and they apply it to the next year's payoff. It's just brilliant arithmetic and brilliant accounting. We don't have that in this town.
Yeah, well, I'm concerned because that was the crux of the issue in Natick. The finance committee was concerned that they weren't putting enough money away for OPEB. I think they were putting $450,000 away. You know, people are starting to wake up to the seriousness of this issue. Jim's been getting up and talking about it since 2011 when we found out about it from our interim town manager a while ago. This is being ignored. We're building all this stuff all over the place. They're talking about the new school that's gonna be like, I don't know, 500 increase, 600.
Let's rattle the last one, which is the.
We only have 2 minutes left, Jim. Yeah.
Well, how about a quick hit on the water, the stormwater problem we have?
Okay.
The Legacy Farms, section 3, 4, and 5 are on the downside hill of the reservoir.
Right.
And guess what? First time I was up there about 2 months ago, we had a big heavy rainstorm.
Yeah.
The water was pouring into the reservoir. Reservoir level is X. When you hit X, you gotta start pouring the water out of the bottom of the dam.
Right. Where does that
Or
go?
structurally is safe, and they'll do it immediately. And so I tried to track where the water went. And guess what? It goes right back in to the back of the what the hell is that thing on
House Street.
No, it's the
park.
Yes.
Oh,
No.
is
Anyway,
it-
it's the water, toxic water. It's in that. It's the field is all up in that
Okay.
area.
Oh,
And
okay.
the water is going to be.
dump.
Yeah, the water is
former dump.
the water is coming down the hill now.
Yeah.
Into the spiller, that takes the water away from the dam and takes the pressure off of that, and it's running into this little brook. And it runs all the way down and goes right into the water area where the parking area is located, and it's filling up a new water pond.
Yeah. Oh, at the MBTA.
But it's about to go over. It's going to go over the
Yeah.
falls, over the tracks, into the falls, or down the street and into the town.
Yeah, I mean, we've got issues that nobody's really talking about. We're pushing all this
we're
stuff
trying to bring to the surface the alertness of what we have to know. Everybody has to know what they're knowing, or else we are going to get surprised one day, and we're going to be in serious trouble.
Right. We have pretty much come to the end. We didn't get to talk about eminent domain land takings, unfortunately.
What's that?
We didn't get to talk about the eminent domain land
Oh,
takings.
yeah.
We'll have to talk about that next time, even though it's supposedly on the warrant. Again, who knows?
Yeah. Be
So
careful, lad.
anyways, we want to thank Miles back there, who's doing a fantastic job filming. We want to thank all of you who watch the show. We encourage you to ask questions. This is your town. This is your money.
You'd better get out there and ask questions.
Yeah, and if you want to ask us anything again, please stop us in the supermarket, pizza places,
Any place.
drugstores, anywhere. And thank you very much, and we will see you at town meeting, hopefully. And if not, we will see you in December when we film the show again. Thank you very much.
Have a great day.